Last night was the last night of recording, and we completed 6 tracks. The titles for which I will tell you now. There is This Is Why We Deserve to Lose, Take Off, Straight Boy, Inch by Inch, Time to Go, and a song whose lyrics we changed. I rewrote the chorus basically right before we recorded it, and it used to be called Same Not Same, and I don't know what to call it now. I'll figure it out later. So let's see. So that was This Is Why We Deserve to Lose, Take Off, Straight Boy, Inch by Inch, Time to Go, the song formerly known as Same Not Same, which actually might be a funny title to just use, the song formerly known as. And then last night we had on the list of tracks that Anthony and Karyadi wanted to focus on. I said, well, let's add just one more, but let's do a cover of something, because if we have a little bit of time at the end, we could throw it together really quickly. And that's exactly what happened. Exactly what we did. So we recorded a cover, and I don't quite want to reveal what it is yet. But I'm still, even though it was like last night and it was like 8 hours ago or whatever, we ended up stopping at around 12:30 or 1 or something like that. I'm still like kind of still amped from the energy. I think it was a lot of fun. Definitely, I played some really shitty guitar on it, which was perfect for the track. I've got a guitar. My guitar, turns out, is impossible to keep in tune for any amount of time. And the further you go up the neck, the more out of tune it gets, and it needs to be intonated. But it's perfect for this track, and Anthony did some really great idiosyncratic drums on it, so I think that'll be really cool. But anyway, so 6 tracks. I got some advice some months ago to not mix right after you record, to allow yourself a little time away from the tracks, so that when you go to mix, it's not as you have an easier time seeing the forest through the trees, as it were. So, that's what I'm going to do. So we'll do a mix early next year, hopefully in time for my birthday in March, so I can release this stuff around that time. That'd be nice. But I don't even know what to say about this whole experience. This is my first time recording music professionally and having something professionally produced, and it was just awesome. Some of it was really hard work. It wasn't all easy, to be sure, and I'll be uploading a video clip of me really struggling to come up with an alternate lyric or whatever. And we beat our head against the wall on Take Off, Straight Boy for basically 2.5 days, trying to get our foot in the door on it. But the track is great now. But we just had so much fun, and we were laughing a lot. And Karyadi and Anthony were just really wonderful, and it was very, very much a collaborative thing. They weren't just hired help to push the record button or whatever. And so there was a lot of back and forth, and that was really cool. It was a really good team effort, and I don't know how common that is, but it was really awesome. Was able to contain I've been a big fan of Anthony and Karyadi's work for 15 years or something like that, and so it was just so awesome to work with them and to see how some of the how they work basically, and I was able to control my fanboydom largely, so that's cool. Um, but in the first production diary I did, I said how nervous I was. I wouldn't have any ideas, but um, it turned out great. And every single track is like is very strong. Um, Even Take Off Straight Boy, which I just recorded into my iPhone as a voice memo, and that was all that I had for that track. It was a 30-second thing, but it was a very strong hook, and so it would just add water, and it kind of grew organically once we got past that couple of days of blockage or whatever. But yeah, the real difficulty now is not now, but Anthony had pointed out. He's like, these sound like two different projects because there's these kind of youthful, humorous kind of songs about being gay or being frustrated with gays as a peer group, and then there's these other ones which are kind of pre-apocalyptic or dealing with kind of dark or complex issues, and the voice and the characters, the two different, there's basically two characters, and it seems like you would want to split them, but I told him, I said, I don't know how you would take these apart. These are two like real sides of me, and I can be very funny and sarcastic, and I can also be, I deal with a lot of really dark issues sometimes, and so, listening to these tracks all together, and we came up with a rough track ordering. We'll see what happens in the mix and stuff, but it'll flow really well. And a big part of that is their kind of guiding hand, and none of the songs sound the same at all, but there is a sonic continuity that's going on, and some careful choices of recording certain instruments or certain synths or certain whatever in a similar fashion to the way we recorded a totally different instrument on a totally different track, or starting with a certain kind of with a beat or a click from a certain kind of drum machine, and so and then as we record these things, and in working with my good friend Noah, learning what my brain automatically comes up with, things that span the fourth beat and the first beat, or things starting on one and, or one or starting on four and stuff like that. So there's certain patterns that we notice that are emphasized or de-emphasized, or kind of as we fill tracks in, we inject it a little bit, so that there is a continuity of sound. But you'd have to be a pretty hardcore music theorist in order probably to pick up on some of it. But that was the other really awesome thing, is that Anthony and Karyadi fucking really know music. They were able to take couple of the most complicated tracks, and it's almost worth a documentary. The tempo maps that Karyadi did on Time to Go, on the B section of Time to Go. And I wasn't thinking about changing tempos or time signatures or keys when I wrote that. That's just the way that it came out. But they were able to make musical sense of it and then figure out where to go from there. And that was exactly what I needed. So I don't know what to say. It was just like, it was hard work, and it was really such a good time, and I look forward to working with them again on the mix and on the rest of the tracks, because there's 6 more songs that we didn't touch on at all. And in the course of recording, in little in-between sections, and I'll upload some video clips, you know, Anthony would like be strumming something on his ukulele, and I would just be able to start in with a dumb vocal and like a whatever. And there's a couple of tracks that where he was screwing around with like his MIDI guitar, and I just started to sing, and it came together really fast. So there's those too. So so hopefully, you know, my good monetary fortune continues, and or these first few tracks sell well, and then I can fund some more of this kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm just so completely happy about the whole process and situation. You know, we definitely ended on an up note with that last track, which we basically went from 0 to, you know, something potentially shippable, to use the software parlance, in 2.5 hours. And some bands might be like, oh, that's a really long time, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't a long time at all. And I'm still like buzzed from doing that. So yeah. So I just want to thank Anthony and Karyadi again for taking on my amateur, unprofessional ass and sculpting it into something that you know, I'm super proud to even have a minor part in, and never mind that they're songs that I wrote and that were, you know, developed before I even got here, and I can't even describe how that makes me feel. It's almost difficult to talk about it. It almost makes me emotional to talk about it. So, anyways, everything went great. It was definitely time well spent. This was like the perfect amount of time, 2 weeks. And yeah, it's hopefully the beginning of something interesting. So so I'm going to keep uploading video clips, and I have lots of pictures and stuff that I took, and I'll probably upload some of the demos that I had originally sent to Anthony and Karyadi, just so people can get like a small taste of, or maybe subsets of those demos, so that people can get a small taste of what's coming. Just a small taste. But listening to the demos, or remembering the demos, and then remembering like especially like Time to Go, which is this epic, amazing track now. Listening to demos they're almost like different songs. There's so much more character now. But yeah, so keep watching the YouTube, the making of YouTube channel, and I will do another one of these when we start to do production mixes, or if I start to get a band together for live shows or whatever. I'll try to do more of these diaries. I wanted to do more during the recording process, but every night I would get in, I would be so completely tired that I just, and then when I would wake up, I basically would have to get right into the studio to start to get the day started and whatever. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'm so excited about people hearing these tracks and seeing and hearing about people's reactions and things like that. That it's undescribable. So stay tuned.